Welcome back to the show. Comedian Josh Sharp is holding court off-Broadway at the Greenwich House Theatre. That's where he's performing his new critically acclaimed one-man show, Ta-Da. I recently caught up with Josh in the onstage studio to chat about his quirky and moving play. Ta-Da. For our folks watching who have not seen your show yet, explain what Ta-Da means.
As a boy, I was really obsessed with magic and was a childhood magician. And even before I knew any tricks, my parents said I used to come in the room and go, ta-da! So, you know, gay. Yeah. So it's sort of, in the show at least, has become a stand-in for the word gay.
Yeah.
I rarely say the word gay, even though a lot of the material is. We almost always just sort of sub in ta-da as a nice little, you know.
It works. This is also a very personal story for you. It's very funny, but it's a personal story for you. I found the show rather moving, specifically when you were talking about your mom.
The story that we tell in the show is that my mom, who passed away from ovarian cancer 15 years ago, sort of in the last year of her life had this miraculous sort of drug treatment moment where she was given her health back and then decided with her extra time to be like, I'm gonna gently bully my son out of the closet. So the show sort of becomes about that, which is, you know, to me directly connected.
Yeah.
Only because of her doing that can I now do a half hour of dick jokes, you know?
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Your dad is a huge fan of yours, obviously. We get to see him rocking out to Adele.
Yeah, he loves Adele.
In this
He's
show.
one of those Southern dads who's obsessed with Adele, which is such energy, you know? Like, that's a Southern dad you know you can trust.
Truly.
He's one of those dads who, like, likes to sort of be everybody else's dad, too.
Yeah.
You know, one of the ones who's like, can I give you a hug, buddy?
Yeah.
You know, so.
I'm assuming he was there on your opening night.
Yes.
What was that like for him watching his son have this moment, and also at a very starry opening night, mind you? Lots of fancy people in the audience.
Well, he's seen what I do and knows that it can be crass, but also seen workshops of this show, so know it has like heart to it. Mm-hmm. So he was very excited. But it was fun to watch at this opening where, you're right, we did have a lot of sort of, you know, Jennifer Lawrence and Nathan Lane and Sadie Sink et al. Because my dad is mentioned in the show and really comes off looking good.
Yeah.
They were going up to him after, being like, well, I have to say hello. So he had a great time.
I want to point out there are over 2,000 slides in this piece, which is a very interesting thing or prop to have when you're telling your own personal story. And just watching you navigate these slides it's a talent in its own right. Why slides and why using that for this show?
Well, I do think if I were just saying this show into a microphone, it'd be good, but it'd be one of sort of those classic stand-up comedian does their one-man show downtown where it's like it's jokes and it's stories and there's narrative and there's theme, which are beautiful. I love those shows. But for me, I was sort of like, I want to dress it up with something else.
Where did the idea of the slides come from?
I started doing it in stand-up spaces where I would do a 10-minute set and try to get through like 400 slides while I did it. And then the joke was that I've memorized all these cues and they're tightly scripted to every word I'm saying. So you absolutely know that I'm on track.
And are you really navigating those slides?
It's me. That's why in the show I give it to someone in the audience to do it because people think it's not
I know,
me.
but I didn't know if that was a trick.
No, it's true. It's all me. I've had to memorize, like, there's sort of a slide every 2.4 seconds.
Yeah, which you explained.
Yeah. And some of them, I like that sometimes it sort of becomes a two-man show. Sometimes I can turn a phrase in a very specific way and then have the text appear behind me so you can sort of see I chose this weird way of saying it. Other times I can be saying one thing and it can sort of comment on me. You know what I mean? Other times I can sort of fill in the gaps in my speech. I can just like shoot a look and it can label it. So for a while it was just like funny to me. And the big picture of like, can you believe I worked so hard for this? Like, you're in a theater, you paid real money, like I'm gonna work too hard for you. But then as a storytelling device, it sort of became interesting to Sam and I that we were like,
it's fun.
Well, it's also
and different.
It's funny how I think they call it second screen viewing, how much people have sort of trained themselves to like watch something on Netflix and look at their phone.
Yeah.
So it's almost an unfortunate thing we've trained our brains to do that we're trying to sort of like actively engage rather than passively engage, where it's like, what's it like when you're watching this performer and sort of also taking in this text at the same time? And you really can just sort of like absorb both.
Yeah. It's obviously technology. Technology doesn't always work. But there have been moments where, you know, things just stopped and you're like, oh no.
For a few previews, she was really laggy, but we figured that out. And one show, it just fully didn't work at the top. And so I just had to be like, well, y'all are going to have to wait a second because there's supposed to have been about 40 slides already in the last 8 seconds, you know? But so far we've been good.
Good.
Knock on upholstery. But I think I'm trying to really please the spirits in that space. Did you know Amelia Earhart lived in the Greenwich House and taught drama there?
I did not know that.
So I have a shrine to Amelia. So now, because she was a gal who went it alone, you know, and I feel the same way. And also, Google pictures of her, gorgeous-looking lesbian woman, presumably. So now I really have created an altar to her, and we've had no tech issues since.
You can catch Josh and Tada at the Greenwich House Theatre, and it is a must-see. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. For more premiere theater coverage and exclusive interviews, click the subscribe button. You can also download the Spectrum News app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you there.